All right, well, I think we're live, baby.
Hey, everybody.
We're coming to you live from Gunnison. Give people a little bit of a chance to jump on here if you'd like to join us for the journey. I know a lot of you have heard the news, but we just truly feel the Lord's call to move here to Gunnison, which we have just done this past weekend and week, and to plant a church. And so this is the building the Lord's given us behind us.
We know it's
right
really
there.
windy, you guys. We won't be out here very long, but we just really wanted to go live and just keep this really just raw and just take you guys on a tour of the property, on the view of Gunnison, on why did we say yes to this? Take you inside and let you see the work that God has trusted us with.
Yeah, so I know it's really windy again, but I'm going to turn the camera around here and just kind of show you the view for a quick second, and then we'll move inside here. And so this is just right out front of the church. And can we zoom in?
So right there is the Gunnison River, and it flows all the way through town, and you'll see all through the valley aspens. There's only trees in the valley, as you'll see. All of the mountains are mostly treeless here in Gunnison.
All right, you have to excuse the wind here.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get out of the wind so y'all can hear, but one important thing, Mark, that I wanted them to see before we head in is that sign right there.
Okay.
Super important as part of our story. There you'll see the River of Life sign.
Awesome. All right. So a lot of you have seen at least the outside of the building and the apartment area, but we wanted to do a little walkthrough. People are always surprised when they come and visit and help out here at the facility.
I think surprised is a little understatement.
Yeah.
A lot of times when people come, the word that they tell us is it's overwhelming.
Yeah, okay, especially after we moved all our stuff in there, right?
Exactly. Well, you know, most people, they think when a congregation dies, and here we go, let's head into the front door here. When a congregation dies and there's left just a church building, hope y'all can hear us now, you know, all that stuff has to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. It doesn't just go with the people. So we actually have a couple here right now, and this morning they were saying to us, so when are the people gonna come get their stuff? And we just looked at them and laughed. Hey, Rebecca. Hey, Marie. And we just laughed because the people don't take their stuff. Hey, Megan. They don't take their stuff because the stuff belongs to the church.
Yeah.
So
and there's no people.
There's no people.
Now,
so we're going to show you guys what life is like for us right now.
Yeah. So we just moved all of our stuff up here, and the apartment is not.
Oh.
Hopefully we're still live here, but another week or so, and we should be able to move our stuff up in the apartment. But for the moment, it's pretty full here. So
are you ready
I'm gonna turn
for this?
the camera around. Woo! And here's our stuff. So this is the front door right here, and so you come in the front door. And
then
little foyer area here,
we had to bring in all our furniture, right? And then this right here is our closet. So each of us have our own set of clothes, hanging clothes, Caleb's clothes, and we're living out of a dresser drawers. This is our kitchen table right here in the front, and so this is how we're doing life right now. All of this is in what we're going to call the cafe, right, Mark?
Exactly.
So the vision here is that eventually there's a fireplace back there. We're going to have little pub tables, cafe tables here, and a coffee bar.
That's
and this
right.
is going to be where we welcome them. So let's take them on down the hallway.
All right, sounds good. So again, this is the little cafe area here behind us, or will be. And now we're moving down the hallway. Maybe it'll work better to walk backwards. What do you think?
Okay, and so you're going to see all manner of tools and flooring. All of this flooring is going to go up in our apartment, right here against
There's
the
some
wall.
of the tools, and there's all the boxes of flooring. Which
so our apartment is right up these stairs right here, and there's stairs that go down here as well. So we're on the second floor right now. So let's show y'all. This is the area where church is going to happen.
why don't you take us on a little tour? I'll just follow you.
Okay. So right now, as we came into the church, we realized that in order to get into the sanctuary, which is behind this wall, you had to go down this little narrow hallway to get to the sanctuary. And we came in and saw this gorgeous big sanctuary. We were so excited, The pews are in really great condition. The stage is a nice full stage that we can...
We're currently working on replacing the light bulbs because all the light bulbs were mostly out.
We call these bubble lights, don't we, honey?
That's right.
All the bubble lights have to go. All of the fire orange carpet has to go. The baptistry with burnt orange curtains is going to be renovated to probably be our drum cage. But the reason I came down this hallway is because we actually want to cut doors, new doors right over here. They had this massive bulletin board. This is a better space for some nice big 2 double doors here to let people come right in off the cafe and head on into church. So right down that same hallway, there's a nursery. You want to take them on in, babe? And
Sounds
show them
good.
around? Okay. So the nursery it has its own window that looks into another window. Currently, this is what we inherited. Now, this is probably one of the more organized rooms, right, honey?
Yes. We have just stuff. There's so much stuff. We brought our stuff, but almost all the rooms are just full of...
Completely packed. So let's show them the women's room. Right. I think all the women would just really appreciate... Uh-oh.
Oh, we got locked that way.
I think our kiddos have been enjoying the bathroom and locked it. Okay, so as you notice in the sanctuary, a lot of this is 90s, right? So we have the banners. We have more banners over here. We've got more banners and flags. So we got the bathroom open. So we have, we've got a couple of sinks. Aren't they beautiful? We've got some Vine sponge paint. And this is my favorite part. Before we said yes to this, I said, Lord, you got to deal with these toilets. We need toilets, Lord Jesus. So we've been praying for new toilets. For those of you who feel a little more free, we have the curtain version. Look at this. So we are praying for new vanities. We're praying for new toilets.
And we actually had a gentleman in our church in Wellington that supplied 8 toilets.
Look at this. So there they are.
3 of the ones that are going to go in here.
Jesus loves me. This I know. For the toilets, tell me so. So the rest of this is offices. This one right here is full of our stuff. This is our, quote, essentials. So when y'all are trying to picture, how are we living? No, we're not in an organized space. We're literally going through boxes and living in our camper out front. This is the administrative office, probably mine, right here, and it has this nice little window pass through. And then Pastor Mark's office is right through this door, right down the hallway. He even has a nameplate. Pastor.
How about that?
So this is what we inherited with Mark's space. Paneled walls, some furniture, a nice old computer PC.
One of the neat things to me, just kind of a personal little touch, as we came here and we're processing, just asking, Lord, is this where you're calling us? Because the beginning of the year in January, we felt like the Lord very clearly, step by step, began to tell us, I'm going to be shifting you, and then kind of gave us clues along the way as to what to look for and who to talk to. And when we finally came here to Gunnison, I walked in the office and I looked at this set of furniture, and this is the exact set that I had in Florida when we planted the River of Life, the first River of Life that we planted.
It's true.
And so I was just kind of like, wow, that's crazy. Same exact desk, same exact computer desk, kind of cool.
So let's take you on a little more. So this is 2 more potential offices, library / worship stuff, it looks like, at one point. And then this church really loved fake plants. So it has found its own little atrium in there. Then in the back here, there's another stairwell that heads up. We're not going to take you that way because it just heads up to the apartment, which we're going to show you in a minute. But we're going to take you on down. This is a nice 1-person bathroom, and we're going to take you on down the stairs to see the fellowship hall and the basement. Now, as we're heading down, I just want to share some vision with you guys. So, we've church planted twice now. We church planted a River of Life in Florida, and then we replanted a church in Red Oak, Texas, with 6 people. But this is our first time to inherit a 3-story building.
Yeah, very full.
With all this stuff. So normally when you church plant, there's several ways to do it, but one of the ways that we tend to do it is to meet in our home, focus on Bible study, worship, prayer, and then over time you acquire a building. And so we're kind of doing that upside down this way. God has
given us the building first.
Yeah.
And it's been neat. I mean, there's been so many doors that have been opened relationally in the past week.
Right.
Shared some of that on a previous post, and we'll share some updates to that soon. It's just amazing. But here is the basement area, and so we've got this giant, great commercial kitchen behind us,
with a nice serving
most
area.
Most of it has been updated with commercial sinks and a great commercial fridge.
Yes.
And so
let's take you on in. We'll let you look. It has lots of potential here, but we thought it was awesome that it had a commercial grade sink to work with and island. We need to replace that stove. My food service director skills from the past have been challenged on that stove, but lots of storage in here, nice commercial refrigerator. So, and then the reason we shared about church planting is because this is where church planting is going to start for us. This is where we're going to be building our launch team. We're going to be meeting here, and so we haven't touched it much. So that you guys could kind of see, well, this is what we inherited. In fact, the first time we were on property, we came through those doors. And so we're going to be having meals here as we invite people to come to join our fellowship. And then all of this over here is furniture that we're going to be getting rid of. And we're praying for muscle. We're praying for people to come and to come help us lift all this stuff out of here. These are potential couches and furniture that we're going to be keeping. And then inside of every one of these rooms is more furniture. So let me give you an example right here. This is another classroom, and this is all the stuff that was at the church. So we get to clean all that out, and we get to repurpose that room, probably for more of a children's ministry space. Over here is a nice stone wall, and right now it's full of all of our tools that we get to clean out this mechanical room and move tools into there, our roll of carpet for the apartment, but our big stove is hiding in here, and it'll be going installed right here. Out back is our wood pile, and so let's show you some more work that is just waiting for us. We're not going to go out too long, but one of the gentlemen of the church donated firewood. Now in our estimate, firewood is like chopped up, but nope, this is how it comes when it comes to Gunnison. So we need help cutting all that up and adding it to our wood pile, which is over here. And this is our primary heat source for the church. All right, and so back inside here, inside these rooms, we have in this room here is more of our furniture. Here is church things that we are beginning to save. This is the save room so that we can repurpose it once we get to that point. Look at all this that we get to sort, you guys. Sometimes we ask the Lord, are you sure you had the right couple? This is all church things that need to be sorted. So the 2 things we asked the Lord for when we said yes are muscle and money, because obviously this has a lot of potential, but not without help, right?
Absolutely. Well, should we take them up to the apartment?
Let's go.
Okay. All right, so we realized that if we've been lacking in exercise at a desk job, we found the way to take care of that. So 2 flights of stairs to get up to the 3rd floor.
I think I've lost a couple of inches just in the 1 week we've been here. All right, so this 3rd story, half of it actually used to be an apartment. And then the other half was at one point in time a youth room. And for our size family, as if you've been tracking us at all, out of breath again, we had to open this space up for our family. So this over here used to be a big wide open youth room, and it had multiple murals on the wall. And now we have added a laundry room for our machines, and then a homeschool room right over here. Many of you know that I homeschool all of our kiddos, so this will be their space. And then this is our master bedroom. There was no windows up here, so this is our first window install. We have such a beautiful view. And then we built this closet, and we're at the stage now where we've sheetrocked, mudded, textured, primered, and we finally get to paint. This was our last mural. We're still praying about whether or not to cover it because we really felt like it embodied the heart of what God is wanting to do here and what he's done in the past. It says in the last days that he says, I will pour out my spirit on all people. And it's this beautiful picture of his spirit being poured out and the focus being upon Jesus, the King who wore the crown, and communion as we walk with him. So let's take it to the other side. As you can see, there's so much work here yet to do. We got word this past week that the first hard frost is coming, probably within a week and a half to 2 weeks. So we've got to be out of the camper because the pipes might freeze and have it all shut down. And so we're praying we're not sleeping on pews. This is going to be our living room. There used to be a wall here and a wall here, and we took that down so we could open up the space and have it flow for our family. There will be a stove over here, which will be our primary source of heat up here as well. The stove is sitting over there right now. And then we've been working on pulling down wallpaper and repainting. These walls used to only go up 3/4 of the way, but we have finally had a team come in last weekend and finish putting the walls to the ceiling. We're praying for help to vent the house better so that we can get the heat from the stove into these rooms. This room here is going to be our kiddos' room. Our littles will all be in here together. They'll have 2 closets. We've got our padding and carpet up here ready to go. And then down this way is where Caleb's room will be. And so in here we had 2 closets against the wall. We needed to give him a window, so we took out 1 closet and he'll have a window installed there, we pray. And then here is his little weight room. He's pretty pumped about this little space. Oh goodness, sorry about that. And so what remains up here is laying more of this flooring. It's quite dirty right now because of all the construction we're doing, but flooring has to be laid throughout. We have to finish taping, mudding, sandpapering, texturing, painting that new section, and then we will be about functional. We do have a new toilet up here, thanks to Mr. Bruce. So this is where we're going to be living probably at least for the next year.
Amen. Well, guys, thanks for joining us. I wanted to maybe just share one more piece of the puzzle that led us to say we really think that maybe this is where God is leading us. And as I mentioned, back in January, it started with a sermon series that Pastor Rick was preaching. And in that message series, the Lord just met me looking at a passage of scripture from Zechariah. And man, it's just an incredible encounter there right in the sanctuary. And then that opened up discussion between us. And as we began to fast and pray, the Lord began to meet with us. And interestingly enough, I'll fast forward a little bit, there was a day where I knew that I was going to be talking with our district superintendent, Gene Roncone. And that morning, is a Saturday morning, right before I woke up, I had this dream. And in this dream, it was so interesting. We were driving down the road, and Joy and I were in the car, and there was this church just, off to the side. And as we were kind of stopped for whatever reason, we looked over at this church, and I haven't fully know all the details of the why sometimes behind dreams, but these 2 ladies were talking about taking down the sign and putting up the word Jesus with the phone number of the church. And I remember just kind of processing with Joy in my dream, like, man, that's not going to bring people to the church. It's going to make people, if they need Jesus, they're going to want to call, the phone number, maybe they'll get prayer or something like that. And And I guess it just spurred us to want to talk to the ladies or something. And so we ended up getting out of the car, and we went and talked to these two ladies and found out one was the pastor's wife. The other was a good friend of the pastor's wife. And they began to tell us a little bit about their story. And interestingly enough, in the dream, the pastor's wife began to share that this wasn't really ever their intention, that they had a pastoral vacancy, and no one came to fill that vacancy. They couldn't decide or whatever, and so no one came to fill that vacancy. And so eventually, her and her husband decided that they would take it on, and that was agreed upon. And so they had done that, and we're kind of at this place where they were just like, man, if the right person came along, we'd just be so ready to pass this on. And I remember Joanna kind of looked at each other in the dream like, interesting. And so we went and walked through the building and began to see the children's ministry. And before we got to the sanctuary, I woke up. And that day I shared the dream, wrote it all down with Joy. And then later that day, as we were talking to Gene, he shared that there were 7 churches that were potentials, that were either pastors were going to be retiring or had the churches had closed down. And as he began to list the different churches, he mentioned Gunnison, and man, something just in me just kind of went, something there about Gunnison.
Now, I have to say right here that what's really interesting about our story, because obviously if you shoot from the mind on this, it's completely illogical that a family of 7 with 3 under the age of 7 years old would even say yes to this. But our story is that the Lord has been speaking to us, and Mark's sharing just one way, but over the course of probably 8 months, the Lord had been giving us little puzzle pieces. Now, I want to say too that Wellington was going to be home for us. We thought we were done. We had found home, and we had planned on staying for as long as God would let us. And yet during all this time, the Lord began speaking. So the Lord speaking to him separately and me separately. And one of the things that he had shared with you through this dream and through Gene was connecting with what the Lord had been telling me. And so separately, the Lord had been telling me that he had shown me a vision of this man, Gene, and I had never seen really him before. I'd never talked to him. And he had on a shepherd hat in my vision, and he had a cane, and then he had on his street clothes. He didn't say anything. He just wore his little Moses-looking shepherd attire, and he turns around and he starts heading into the mountains. And it was apparent in my vision that we were supposed to follow him. And as he took us to a mountain town. And one of the things that the Lord had already shown Mark was this kind of map of Colorado. And it was significant because that Gunnison was one of the 7 churches, because the Lord had kind of shown Mark kind of like a GPS where it kind of shows you the path ahead of time. And the path was going into the mountains, and all the other churches.
I didn't know at the time was called the Western Slope. It was kind of the western side of Colorado there.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, get this. So we talked with Gene that day, and Gunnison is mentioned, and so just something in it. There's two cities, and Gunnison was one of them.
And they were towns that were not in the mountains.
And so after we talk, he sends back a little report of one of his tours. He had gone all over Colorado to visit the different churches, and he sent a little email with a report about his visit at Gunnison, and in the report it literally starts sharing that the previous pastors, and they had just recently decided to step down. They're retiring and they're moving to Texas, and they have a business in town, and they're selling the business and whatnot. But in their story, they said, what happened that brought them to be the pastors was that they had a pastoral vacancy, and there wasn't anybody to fill the vacancy. And so they felt the nudge of the Lord that they were supposed to just take it on for the time being. And they've been here a long time, and just being faithful to the call and processing through leadership here in Gunnison. But they had felt like it was time to move on. It was time to let go and let a new pastor come. And so
Which was exactly your dream.
Wow, I'm just blown away when I read the email that, wow, God, you spoke something to me. And so as we came here and the clues just began to add up, we felt like we couldn't help but say, this is where we're supposed to be.
You were getting ready for work, fixing to head to men's Bible study, and the Lord told you a phrase.
Yeah, I got this phrase, Aspen Valley. And
not just once.
Yeah.
He said it 3 times
That's right.
to you.
That's right, that morning.
Yeah.
And so, initially I started looking into, are we supposed to be like around Aspen or something? The valley there around Aspen?
Yep. So we scouted out Aspen.
Yeah, we did.
We actually Googled, where is Aspen Valley? And we'll try to take a picture and maybe add it to this. We don't want to go back outside where it's windy. But as we showed you, if you look back at the video, all of the aspens are in the valley.
Yeah, there's other trees down there too, but there's
Mostly.
a huge mix of aspens just all spread out in a valley that's just below the church. So
Yes,
it's
and
really cool.
this area has the largest aspen grove in all of America.
That's right.
Right here. And so that was pretty cool. Well, also in my vision that the Lord had shown me, as soon as we kind of followed Gene Rancone, our shepherd, the Lord said, rural mountain town. So in my mind, I'm thinking some cutesy little town, but I didn't really know what rural meant. I grew up rural, but I wasn't sure what that definition really is. And so when we talked to Gene, and we just said, he didn't know any of our clues. He didn't know God had been speaking to us. We just told him that we were interested in following the Lord in this. And I said, well, what makes rural? And he explained that rural means that there's no towns within 20 to 30 minutes.
No major cities, yeah.
No major cities with like box stores and things like that within 20 to 30 minutes of the town you're in. Well, Gunnison has nothing an hour around it on either side. So we are truly rural here.
Right. Well, guys, as we wrap up today, let me just say, a lot of you have asked us, like, how can we help? How can we support what God is doing here? And some of you have come up and helped here, and we definitely need more help here, just working and getting things done. We need to finish up this apartment here pretty quickly, and then we need to move on to the rest of the space. We need to do quite a bit of work in the sanctuary. We've got some work in the office space as well as in the basement that we want to get ready for children's ministry type stuff. And so workers, helpers that want to come up here, all skills, absolutely.
Skills. We're talking cleaning, organizing, and then skills up to
carpentry,
literally
sheetrock, flooring,
down
carpet,
ceilings, and
ceiling
lighting,
tiles need
plumbing.
to be redone.
There's a lot here.
There is. So if you have any of those skills and you have any interest in coming up to a cool little mountain town, we'll have to take you through the town here at some point.
There's so much here
really
to
cool.
see and
really
do.
cool.
Yes.
And if you're interested in skiing, maybe you got to come up this winter because Crested Butte is just 30 miles up the road.
30 minutes away.
Little mountain ski town just up the road
and
here
Gunnison is so cool. And so as we end, we would just want to share about Gunnison a little bit. Gunnison it's kind of like Fort Collins in that it has this great
cool
main
little
street,
downtown, yeah.
Lots of mom and pop shops. They're big on their food here. They love to have like great food because they know you have to go an hour to get to anything else, right? And so really great Main Street area, but we only have one Walmart. There's no Targets or box stores.
It's not a super Walmart,
like that.
It's just the partial Walmart.
So that'll kind of give you an idea. We also have our own airport, the Gunnison Airport. So Hannah, who's in Tribeca, out in Nashville, she can fly in, and we can literally see her fly in because from the church you can see the runway, which is cool. There's a college town here.
Yep, Western University is right here in Gunnison.
That's right.
And I know the Moores, one of their boys went to Gunnison at least for, I think, a year.
Yeah.
And so if you have any interest in going to college and you want to be up in the mountains, consider Western.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, Chi Alpha
Yes.
is coming, which is an outreach of the Assemblies of God. And they are building their college ministry here in Gunnison for the first time, starting next year.
Next year.
And so Jacob Graham, we've gotten a chance to meet him. He's going to head that up. And there's another couple from our area there in Fort Collins that is going to be joining them as well. So God is just on the move in some major ways.
Move. That's right.
And so if you want to help out, one of the ways you can do that again is to come on up, and we've got places you can stay here in the church. Of course, there's hotels and things for those that would like to do that.
There's lots of hotels, all the main hotels as well as all the fun little mom and pop ones.
Absolutely. And then if you'd like to just give, financially, maybe you live too far away, you can't come up here, but you'd like to help out, just let us know. We're going to be probably posting some links later this month. We want to raise some support financially for us as a couple, so we can try to we've got some support from two ministries in particular that we'd like to try to put towards the church here and the building stuff, or maybe you'd like to help with one of the projects that we're working on financially. So
we want to be clear, you guys, we are missionaries. This is our first time to be full missionary support. So we literally took our last paycheck last week or the week before. So we are fully trusting God and living by faith on this. All of the projects that you saw are by faith. We have literally been able to pay for the things that we've done as we go, as the Lord lays it on hearts of people like you. So this is awkward for us to have to ask for support, but we also know that this is how God does his business. This is how he builds the kingdom. He brings all the brothers and sisters together, and he links arms together, and he gets it done. So Gunnison is full of lots and lots of, I think it's 50% and more is under the age of
30.
30
25
years
is the
old.
median age, and kind of that 23 to 28 is where the vast majority of the population
Yeah.
is. So it's a neat group of people, man. I love it. I love the people that are here, and then
Yes.
we've got the ranchers and
Yeah.
cowboys that are here as well.
But
Yeah,
we
so that's
hear
really
that
cool.
a lot of these younger students, graduates, whatever, they're bored because there's nothing around. So there's a lot of substance abuse here, a lot of cultic activity here, mixed religions. There is not a spirit-filled church here at all. And so we're excited to bring Holy Spirit here and let him do what he wants to do. Well, thanks for those of you who have hung out with us this long. We
Yeah,
wanted you
thank
to
you very
just
much.
lay eyes on it and really see what we see, and just pray about how God would have you get involved.
That's right. All right, signing off from Gunnison. Love you
Bye,
guys.
guys.
And thanks
We
for
love
joining.
you.